You're at the gas station on a perfect sunny morning in Evergreen Meadows, just topping off your truck after dropping the kids at school, when the HOA president herself storms up like she's the queen of the subdivision. You there? Stop pumping right now. HOA members get priority service. She barks, her perfect blonde hair not moving in the breeze, clipboard clutched like a sword. You blink, thinking it's a joke, but she lifts her phone and dials 911. This is an emergency. This man is blocking essential community access and threatening me. The pump clicks off as you stand there, hands up, and the first cold wave of realization hits. This isn't about gas. This is about power. And Vanessa Hargrove, the self-appointed guardian of community standards, had just declared war on the wrong guy. My name is Ethan Brooks. I've lived in Evergreen Meadows for 8 years, the kind of cookie-cutter suburb where the lawns are all the same shade of perfect green, because the HOA rules say they have to be exactly 2.5 inches or you get a $50 fine. I was the guy who kept his head down. 2 years ago, they fined me for non-compliant holiday lights. My crime? A single string of white LEDs that were half an inch too long. I paid it. I smiled at the board meetings. I didn't complain when Vanessa sent her enforcers to measure my mailbox height. For the harmony of the neighborhood, she always said with that fake sweet smile. People thought I was the grumpy single dad who didn't care about community spirit. They were wrong. I just knew better than to poke the bear wearing designer yoga pants and a name tag that read, President, serving you since 2019. Vanessa's SUV sat crooked across the disabled spot, engine still running like she owned the air itself. Ethan, right? She said, lowering the phone but keeping that camera rolling. You've been warned before about obstructing community progress. Hand over the pump. HOA vehicles are invoiced monthly. No waiting for peasants like you. I let the nozzle hang. Ma'am, this is an HOA property. Swipe your card like everyone else. Her laugh was pure theater. Oh, sweetie, you clearly don't understand how things work here. We maintain the roads, the parks, the standards. That gives us priority. Now stop being difficult or the sheriff will explain it to you. The ranch hands at the next pump, construction guys who actually built half the houses in our neighborhood, started chuckling. One muttered, Lady, it's regular unleaded, not thrown oil. Vanessa spun on her heel, voice rising to Sunday sermon volume. This man is denying essential services to the entire community. He's hostile. I feel unsafe. Then she hit speakerphone so the whole station could hear the dispatcher. Yes, officer, he's refusing to let me fuel the community mower. He's escalating. Send someone now. I crossed my arms and waited. Not because I was scared, because I'd seen this movie before. Last year she'd tried to fine me $200 for my offensive bird feeder shaped like a tiny house. I paid it quietly, took pictures, saved every email. People called me spineless. I called it patience. The cruiser rolled in 10 minutes later, lights off, but attitude on. Sheriff Ramirez stepped out, already sighing like he'd answered this call 100 times. Vanessa, what now? She thrust her phone at him like evidence from a crime scene. He threatened me. He's blocking HOA priority access. Look at my documentation. She shoved a thick folder at him, the same folder that later changed everything. Ramirez flipped through the top pages, eyebrows climbing. This is a gas station, not your boardroom. Everyone waits their turn. Vanessa's face went that special shade of entitled red. Sheriff, as elected president, I demand you enforce community standards. Our bylaws clearly state. That's when the papers slipped. 2 sheets fluttered to the asphalt right at my boots. I bent down before she could snatch them. The first was a colorful map titled Proposed Phase 2 Expansion, Evergreen Meadows Community Path. My backyard easement, the private strip I used to reach my workshop, was shaded in HOA green with the words Shared Infrastructure Corridor stamped across it. The second page was worse, a county survey with boundaries redrawn in fresh ink, backdated 3 years. My property line had magically moved 6 feet. Vanessa froze. Those are internal drafts. Give them back. I held them up to the sunlight, so Ramirez could see the ink still slightly wet. Internal drafts don't get submitted to the county planning office with my address highlighted in yellow, Vanessa. Ramirez took the pages. His expression went from tired to very interested. Ma'am, did you file these? She snatched for them. That's privileged. I already had my phone out, snapping photos with timestamp and GPS on. Click. Click. The flash caught her perfect makeup cracking like cheap porcelain. You can't do that. Those are HOA property. Ramirez handed the papers back to her, but kept his eyes on me. Ethan, you might want to keep those pictures. Vanessa stormed to her SUV, tires screeching as she peeled out, leaving a cloud of dust and the faint smell of defeat. But I knew this wasn't over. That map wasn't about gas. It was about my backyard, the only private access to my workshop where I ran my small graphic design business from home. Vanessa and her silent partner developer had been eyeing the empty lot behind me for months. Turning my easement into their fancy walking path meant more houses, more fees, more power. And she'd just handed me the first piece of rope to hang her with. I drove home with the windows down, wind whipping the smirk off my face. The Queen had made her first mistake. File 2. By the time I pulled into my driveway, the HOA enforcement team was already there. 3 guys in matching polo shirts with the little green tree logo, hammering a bright orange violation notice to my fence. Non-compliant access structure. Unauthorized blocking of proposed community corridor. I killed the engine and walked up slow. You're on private property. Leave. The lead guy didn't even look up. Once the boundary review passes, this will be community property. President Hargrove authorized immediate documentation. I pulled out my phone again, the same one still warm from the gas station photos, and started recording. Smile for the camera, boys. Trespassing on private land, posting fake notices, operating under a forged map. Say hi to the sheriff. The drone hovering above my roof dipped lower, camera whirring. One of the guys had a controller in the SUV. I zoomed in on the drone's registration number. Black humor of the day. They were so busy pretending to be the law they forgot actual laws existed. My neighbor Tom pulled up in his old pickup, took one look, and started laughing that deep, tobacco laugh. Vanessa's at it again. She told the Facebook group you're anti-community, and your workshop is a blight. Posted pictures of your trash cans from last week. I showed him the photos from the gas station. His laugh died. She forged county documents? That's not just crazy, that's felony stupid. That night I sat at my kitchen table with every scrap of paper I'd ever received from the HOA, fines, warnings, meeting minutes. I scanned them all, time-stamped, backed up to 3 clouds. Then I called Sarah Whitfield, the land use attorney whose billboard I'd driven past for years. She answered on the second ring. Ethan Brooks, the bird feeder guy? I've been waiting for your call. By sunrise, I had solar-powered cameras on every corner of my property, aimed at the fence line. When the enforcers came back at noon with another violation for excessive grass length, my lawn was exactly 2.51 inches, measured by their own laser last month. The footage was crystal clear. They tried to open my gate. The drone returned. I sent everything to Sarah and Sheriff Ramirez with one line. They're building a case on lies. I'm building one on truth. Vanessa wasn't idle. Her Facebook post that afternoon had 247 likes. Concerned neighbors, one resident continues to obstruct community progress and safety. We must protect our children's future path. Comments flooded in. Kick him out. Typical loner. She even tagged the local news. The comments called me everything from selfish to danger to property values. I read them all, sipped my coffee, and smiled. Every lie she told was another nail in her own coffin. Sarah met me at the county planning office the next morning. She laid my photos next to the official map Vanessa had submitted. The clerk's eyes widened. This backdate is impossible. The county surveyor wasn't even hired until 2 years later. Sarah slid over the metadata printout I'd paid a tech friend to pull. Creator V. Hargrove. Last edited on her home computer the night before the gas station stunt. The clerk picked up the phone. I need to flag this for the commissioner. Immediately. Vanessa must have gotten the call because my phone blew up with texts from unknown numbers. Stop harassing our president. You'll regret this. I saved every one. That evening she showed up at my gate in person, flanked by 2 board members, waving a fresh, preliminary boundary approval letter with a shiny county stamp. It's done, Ethan. The path goes through whether you like it or not. Think of the children. I held up my phone, still recording. The children whose future path is built on forged documents? Smile. Vanessa, the sheriff's office just requested all your emails. Her face went white under the perfect makeup. For the first time, she looked small. File 3. The public hearing was scheduled for Friday at the community center. By 8 a.m., the parking lot was packed. HOA members in matching polos, regular homeowners, even a few reporters who'd smelled blood. Vanessa sat front row, chin high, clipboard ready like armor. The developer who'd been whispering in her ear all along sat beside her, suit too shiny for 9 a.m. Sarah opened the binder like a courtroom drama. Exhibit A, certified county survey from 2018 showing Ethan Brooks' backyard easement as private. The commissioner nodded. Exhibit B, the map submitted by President Hargrove, backdated, redrawn, creator metadata points straight to her laptop. Gasps rippled. Vanessa's smile froze. That was a draft. Sarah clicked the projector. The screen filled with the email chain. Vanessa to the developer. Once we control the easement, we can charge maintenance fees and expand Phase 3. He won't fight it. The developer's reply. Use the gas station incident to paint him as hostile. Works every time. The room exploded. Someone yelled, "You lied to us." Vanessa stood, voice cracking for the first time. Everything I did was for the community. The children need that path. Sarah played the drone footage of the enforcers trying my gate. Then the gas station 911 call, where Vanessa claimed I threatened her life, while I literally stood still with my hands visible. The commissioner leaned forward. "Ms. Hargrove, you filed a false police report, forged county documents, and directed trespass. This isn't community service. This is fraud." The developer tried to slip out the side door. Sheriff Ramirez blocked him. "Not so fast. Your company's fingerprints are all over the metadata too." Vanessa's perfect world cracked right there in front of everyone. Board members started whispering, then outright shouting. One woman stood up, a longtime resident, and said, "I voted for you because you said you'd protect our homes, not steal them." The commissioner didn't even need a gavel. All claims to the Brooks property are dismissed. The county is opening a criminal investigation into map forgery and conspiracy. President Hargrove is hereby suspended pending charges. The HOA board has 30 days to address member confidence or face dissolution. Vanessa's knees actually buckled. The woman who'd spent years measuring grass blades and finding bird feeders was escorted out by her own former allies while cameras rolled. 3 weeks later, the emergency vote passed 87%. Evergreen Meadows HOA was dissolved. No more 2.5-inch grass police. No more approved mailbox colors. The developer's expansion plans died with the forged map. Vanessa moved out of state the day the charges were filed. Something about needing a fresh start. I stood at my gate the morning the last orange violation notice was officially removed. The wood still had hammer marks. My cameras were still rolling, but now they only caught birds and kids on bikes. Tom pulled up, handed me a beer. "You know, half the neighborhood thinks you're a hero. The other half still thinks you're the grumpy guy with the bird feeder." I laughed. "I'll take it. So tell me, was Vanessa Hargrove wrong for faking emergencies, forging maps, and trying to steal my backyard in the name of community? Or was I the real villain for daring to say no and keeping what was mine?" Drop your answer below. Because in every HOA story, the line between neighbor and tyrant is thinner than you think. And sometimes the quiet guy with the camera is the one who redraws it permanently.